evening, everybody. Namaste. I hope I'm audible to all of you. I would request everybody who's there on the call to please keep your audio muted so that the disturbance on the call remains to its lowest and we're able to enjoy the next 30-40 minutes that you spend with us. So a very warm welcome to all of you. Before we initiate this call, this is a timed platform. So you can all see Divyanshi on your screen. So she's the timekeeper. So once your speaking time is over, she'll put her one hand up and then you have 30 more seconds to conclude. And when your complete speaking time is over, she'll put her second hand up and that is the time that you might get muted. If you get muted, please don't get offended. It is just to finish this activity on time so that none of your schedules get disturbed. And so that you enjoy the platform even more, this is a bilingual platform. You can either use English or Hindi, either of the languages, whichever you are comfortable with. इनके अलावा कोई लैंग्वेज यूज करेंगे तो मैं नहीं समझ पाऊंगा. आप यूज कर सकते हैं, नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम, बट वी वोंट गेट यू व्हाट यू आर ट्राइंग टू से. बट हाँ, प्रेफरेबली इंग्लिश, एंड अगर चाहें तो आप हिंदी भी यूज कर सकते हैं. कोई चैलेंज नहीं, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. सो लेट्स गिव इट एन ऑफिशियल किक ऑफ स्टार्ट. नमस्ते पीपल. Hello and good evening. I am Daksh. I'm the founder of Blub World Magazine. A very warm welcome to all of you to the Blub World Web Talks 79th episode. In the last 78 episodes, 1,000 plus school leaders have participated on this very platform, shared their ideas, opinions, observations, innovations, and what all amazing they're doing in the education space within their ecosystem and trying to share learning with others. This platform is a virtual roundtable. So everybody who's there on the call is typically supposed to speak. So whatever ideas, opinions you have collected together, this is the time to pick each other's brains and try to understand what all new and different can you do within your ecosystems. Just before we start to share some of the innovative ideas people have shared on this platform, there's a very small village called Padua in West Bengal. They don't have good internet. So they gave a very innovative assignment to their students. They told them that create a custom dictionary at home. Add 5 new words to it every day and bring that dictionary to school once the school reopens. There's one school in a very small village in Sundarbans in Odisha. They gave an assignment where they told students to create a wisdom diary, that write what all good and bad you do during the whole day, and this diary would become an assessment of how much of value education did you actually get. So people have been using amazing approaches to continue the teaching and learning process even in this pandemic. And एक काम जो हर स्कूल ने बहुत successfully किया and for which you should typically get a good applause is आपने हर घर में शांति बनाए रखी, because it was only because of you that kids and the parents' anxiety was at bay and घर में comfort बना हुआ था even when everybody was locked down. So thank you so much once again people for being here with us. Before we start, again, a word of caution, try to finish it within that small amount of time because we need to finish the activity on time. And if you miss out on anything, don't worry. Our team will stay connected. You can share your ideas over WhatsApp and some of the best ideas will be published on our social media and in the print magazine that currently reaches to nearly 5,500 schools across South Asia. So I hope you enjoy the next 60 minutes that you spend with us. Welcome to the Blub World Web Talk 79th episode. Let's start listening to people who are here to share their ideas, opinions, innovations, and observations on the K-12 education sector. How is it evolving? What's going to happen? And specifically, what do you think will be the skills for the future? Thank you so much. Once again, a very warm welcome to the first guest for today, Dr. Harsh Sadarwarti, Vice Chancellor, CT University, Ludhiana, Punjab. Harsh ji, over to you for the next 3 minutes. You can unmute your audio. A very warm welcome and namaste.
So very good morning to the August gathering present over here. Namaskaram. Or happy Krishnashtami Janmashtami to all of you. So today is a great day and may Lord Krishna showers blessings to each and every one of us. So talking about the skills of the future, as you all know, we all are going through pandemic and it's a very tough phase and a very critical situation everywhere around. And the education scenario has been totally changed. So it has been total change in education scenario as far as new education policy is also concerned. So skills will play a very important role now onwards. Reason being reskilling, upskilling is always important and learn and unlearning is also So as far as emerging technologies are concerned, so we have to focus on skills. And as we all know, right from seventh standard, technologies like artificial intelligence are coming into picture. It's not mere technologies, its implementation is also very important. And AI is a powerful tool and it will become like a computer tool. By default, everybody will be using that tool. So the main important thing is that from seventh or eighth onwards, we have to focus on the things that students should at least choose one domain. Like in German, they start with automobile, or you can say some healthcare program. They finalize these things and start concentrating on one domain. So the important thing is one domain plus industry. It is very important. If we focus on a particular domain and we create ourselves, develop ourselves with a skill based professional in a particular domain, that will be very important, and that will make us skillful and employable. We can be entrepreneur as well. So the most important thing in our education system is, if we are concentrating on computer science, we have to finalize the thing that what type of domain we are interested, whether we are interested in coding, database, or we have to use artificial intelligence as a tool in agriculture or any allied domain. That is very important. And if we're interested in healthcare programs, we have to start from the scratch. So a lot of diversity is there as far as operation theatre, anesthesia, pharmacy. A lot of programs are there that we also have to finalize, and skill-based training. That is very important. And if we're interested in automobile, then we can have some hands-on training on Bosch tools and other tools. So if we talk about 100 plus, 150 plus different domains and courses are available, and diversity is also there. So we have to basically focus on a particular program according to the mindset of the student, according to intellectual ability is concerned, and passion of the student. It is also very important. So
thank you so much, Harsh, sir. The time was over. To again summarize what all you said, that skills will play a very critical role in the coming times, because the way the education policy has come in and the way we are actually seeing in virtual classes as well, कि पढ़ाई जिस तरीके से अपने आप को रिफॉर्म कर रही है, जो लर्निंग आउटकम है वो अब चेंज हो गया है. पहले लर्निंग आउटकम कंटेंट था या एकेडमिक था, अब वो इम्प्लीमेंटेशन हो गया है, एंड इम्प्लीमेंटेशन के लिए स्किल चाहिए. सेंसिबिलिटी उसका बैकग्राउंड में हमेशा रहने वाली है. एंड इमर्जिंग टेक्नोलॉजीज विल मेक स्किल्स इवन मोर क्रिटिकल, बिकॉज टेक्नोलॉजी चेंज होगी तो उसके साथ स्किल भी चेंज होगी. एंड सिंगल करियर लाइफ शायद हम अब नहीं देखेंगे, या ये जनरेशन तो नहीं देखेगी, because it will be a multi-career life for everybody. आप change हो रहे होंगे with the kind of atmosphere we have, and one domain plus industry. इस तरीके का expertise बहुत early age में लेके आ जाना is going to be very helpful for students as well, because once you are out of the school, you have at least some idea of how the real world works. Because school की दुनिया and what you see outside, there's a real and real difference. तो उसको थोड़ा सा patching up इसमें हो जाएगा. डाइवर्सिटी इन प्रोग्राम्स हैव टू बी बॉट इन, जो कि एक बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज अब सब एजुकेशनिस्ट के लिए हो गया है, कि अब आपका सिलेबस जो है दैट्स टिपिकली द कंप्लीट वर्ल्ड अराउंड यू. सो हाउ वुड यू बिल्ड अ सिलेबस फॉर दैट इज द क्वेश्चन. So thank you so much, Harsh ji. Let's now listen to the next guest for today, Mr. Pradeepta Hora, Program Director, Aditya Birla Education Academy, Mumbai. Pradeepta ji, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute your audio.
A very good evening, everyone present out over here. Let me just spend a minute on what are soft skills exactly. So soft skills are non-technical skills that interpersonal skills, communication skills, creative thinking skills, time management, empathy, etc. Now let me take you through a day of any particular child. While we teachers and schools have done a phenomenal job in continuing learning through education, we are missing out on a major component of learning that happened at the school through casual interaction. Kids took bus rides, now gone. Kids played, pushed each other, laughed, cried during break times, now gone. Their days have become continuous days, no breaks that allow them casual interactions where they can just share a smile or even a wink. So This brings attention to few skills that they were learning through casual interactions: empathy, interpersonal skills, time management. Like they don't know how to follow a routine because routines have been upset. Earlier, they knew after returning from school, they had to start working on their homework. Now it is a tough for them to demarcate their days because there is no casual routine break. This is leading to procrastination. Why I said this? Because, even today, now if a child is in class 8 and have got promoted from grade 7 to grade 8, parents still write down the child's name as grade 7, because the only reason for this is they, they did not grade that break in between. Say they can't understand that did the child really move from one specific grade to other specific grade. So there is so much of confusion. Now, these are pandemic-related concerns, but in general, a child today is multitasking. Soft skills teaching helps him in better listening, better interpersonal skills. Creative thinking is another soft skill that, to some extent, is covered in the international curriculum. Through reasoning, etc. CBSE board has announced design thinking as a part of the course that is going to be necessity to be able to think critically. Now, technology skills is one of the major aspects of future education that is not only today. Of course, there is a big change that has happened. All of a sudden, everyone has got addicted to technology, but this shift has taken place slowly, and it was.
Pradipta sir, thank you so much. The time was over, but we'll again try to come back to again summarize what you said, that soft skills. And typically what students learned from their peers and their environment and the kind of situations that they faced every day, wo learning is completely missing. And there's a big full stop to that, which typically included empathy, interpersonal skills, and time management. This is, and one of the effects is procrastination, जो बच्चों में होने लगा है, and actually शायद बच्चों में ही नहीं सभी में होने लगा है, because अब हम लोगों की भी work life balance तो है ही नहीं. The whole day is working and the whole night is even working. We don't know when it ends. So procrastination has increased, and at the same time, the kind of anxiety that they are facing, वो बहुत ज़्यादा है. वो अभी बहुत आसानी से casual interactions में diffuse हो जाती थी, जो अब diffuse नहीं हो पा रही है. They're carrying it with them through and through. And kids did not actually get that break जिसमें उन्हें realization होता है कि हाँ भाई एक class खत्म, now we're in the next one. वो भी नहीं हुआ because learning was continued. And creative skills, reasoning skills, design thinking, and technology skills. Before we move on to the next speaker, एक बहुत अच्छा exercise one of the schools is doing in Guwahati. It's the Springdale Academy. They're doing something called time management बच्चों को सिखाने के लिए, and इन सारी concerns को address करने के लिए they started something very unique. They told kids to create a balance sheet of time. Consider time as currency and create a balance sheet of it कि आपने इसमें से कितना खर्च कर दिया, कितना आपके पास बचा है, कितना आपके expenses के लिए, कितना आपके expenditure के लिए है. And they have made kids from class 8 to 12 do this extensively कि उन्होंने पूरा balance sheet बनाया है time का कि इसमें से assets कितने हैं आपके, कितना समय आपके पास आगे available होगा. So attaching a new angle to learning, but there's one big reality there that at the end we're humans and we want humans around us. और हम उस चीज को बहुत ज्यादा मिस कर रहे हैं. And when we talk of kids, तो हम तो शायद मिस कर रहे हैं और उसको समझ पा रहे हैं, बच्चे उसे comprehend नहीं कर पा रहे. So comprehension is a big challenge that's limiting their freedom, their mental understanding. Thank you so much, Pradipta sir. We'll try to again come back to you. Now, since we're talking about balance sheets and finances, on this very panel, we wanted to add a new perspective, typically a thoda sa, a tadka sort of a thing, where we wanted to talk about how would school finances and the way they will change, what kind of products and what kind of new things would a school need as far as its finances, expenses, its insurances, and all this will be concerned. So we have a special guest for today with us. We have Sibanshi with us, who's the manager for employee benefits from Anand Rathi Insurance Brokers, Mumbai. So over to Sivanshi for the next 3 minutes to give an exposure on how would the financial ecosystem of a school or an educational system change in the coming times. Over to you, Sivanshi.
Thank you so much, Daksh, and a big hello to everyone. It's a big honor to be here amongst all of the leaders in the education space. I mean, there's so much to learn. Just a quick point, if I lose out on my network at any point, please let me know because I'm having terrible glitches with technology today. So just to take a cue from what Daksh mentioned, is something that we've been working on in the space of the education sector that's come to light is that when it comes to all of your children within the institution, all of your faculty, everyone, within India as a space, now the insurance sector is where I come from, has not really been developed per se or hasn't really entered the foray of the education sector, wherein a lot of schools are a little alien to the concept of it or probably think it's not something that fits the bill in terms of the education sector. Now, what's happened is with the outbreak of COVID, healthcare again has come back into focus, and we've understood that this is something that we cannot take lightly. Tomorrow, we have a pandemic today. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You have the risk of your children on ground and faculty, or probably your parents by extension of that. If something happens to them, who's going to finance the children going forward in terms of their fees? What's going to happen if there is a liability within the school organization if some child gets hurt? You know, there's a lot of such concerns, and if I had to take a cue of global practices that we've been following with a couple of our clients internationally, the concept of insurance is very, very popular abroad. So for schools or even like small schools of all sizes, actually, it's not just like the larger brands within the schools, everyone who really has the responsibility of carrying children within their premises, they always roll out insurance programs at the start of the year. Some of the leading institutes within the country too, especially management institutes, larger schools, have already rolled out programs like this. And the reason this is pertinent in today's time, like I said, is with the outbreak of COVID, this sort of comes back into play for a school to understand what is it that we can do for our children. And if we do, how much is it going to cost? So there are a lot of products that have come up in the market, which in terms of offerings for a school really come in a very competitive rate. It's a group cover for all of your schools. So which means if there's a student, just to summarize it, because I have 3 minutes and I want to be able to portray as much as I can, because this is a very consequential topic that's going to be of range, because September and October, you're going to see your students come back and you don't know how many of them might be carrying the risk of these disease. So in general, it's a very advisory practice for schools to consider to take group covers for their children, and group covers could be of two kinds. So one is when you're talking about the health, which means tomorrow if something happens to any student who's a student of this XYZ institute, if there's a hospitalization within themselves, probably within their families, as and when the package is designed, that particular expense to a certain amount is reimbursed directly by the insurance company. So these are kind of programs and group covers that the schools can definitely speak in. I think I'm running short of time, so we can probably come back to it again. But yeah, just to run a leaf of it, it's an interesting or a very necessary idea that I think schools and leaders and trustees should probably be engaging in at this moment.
Thank you so much, Sivanshi. So insurance and school insurance and education insurance and उसमें group coverage, ये सारे वो benefits हैं, ये सारी वो चीजें जो शायद corporates would have been looking at. But right now, the kind of scenario that we are all in, there is some safety mechanism जो हमें चाहिएगा. But yes, we need to understand on how would we judge that, because अभी एक बहुत बड़ी underlying challenge जो है वो सब जगह हर school leader के या education institution leader के पास है. You're right now given a big responsibility to choose a technology platform, and most of the education leaders are not that tech savvy कि वो technology के हर aspect को समझ सकें. And already वो environment बच्चों को introduce कर दिया गया है. So let's now hear it from the practitioners कि वो हर दिन जो अपना लड़ाई झगड़ा कर रहे हैं classes को चालू रखने के लिए, virtual classes को चालू रखने के लिए, what are they facing and what's their opinion and observation on what will be the skills of the future and what does the current pandemic typically mean for them. So let's now invite Suvir Kaur, Principal, Podar International School, Ratlam, Madhya Pradesh. Suvirji, over to you for the next 2 minutes. Please unmute your audio. A very warm welcome.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to speak on this platform. The idea that we are not raising a generation like ours, जिनको जहाँ बिठा दिया बैठ गए बोला ये कर लो कर लिया, because we are now dealing with this generation. This is called the Gen Y. And why is it called Gen Y? Because this is called the millennia generation. And they are into all kind of technology. They are born with the day is handed over to them. And they have, practically been raised on, constant supply of all these ebooks and all these. So considering the extensive turbulence that has been created by the perfect storm of e-learning, it is not surprising that the opinions about this kind of using this as a platform is quite mixed. So a lot of issues, a lot of have come out related to this, and somehow apparently the question that arises is where online learning is headed. That is very, very important. So navigating online education requires an understanding of the current state and the future direction of the online teaching and learning. So vis-a-vis, we realize that this is not a very disciplined kind of a generation that we are dealing with. First of all, their attention span is very, very short. Very soon they get bored of whatever you tell them, and they don't want to spend more time in listening to you. They will just give you 2 to 3 minutes, and after that, if they find it interesting, they will pay attention. Otherwise, they will just mentally walk out. Then they are constantly Googling. This is called the Googling generation, because they are all the time discovering new info. Whatever you talk, they have to. And then they would want to understand the rationale behind it, what you're saying, whether it is practical or not. They're far too relaxed and, will not take, okay, look, principal is saying this, teacher is saying this, so we have to, obey it. No, there has to be a reason. So they would want to, you have to constantly build a rapport with them, keep them interested, and they somehow, they used to learn more in the traditional courses. And but on the flip side, what you realize is that the retention rates are higher in online learning, and then they require less of a time investment. More frequent assessments can be conducted like this. And the best part, which I like, is that it is a greener option. So much of paper we are saving, and so much of books.
Thank you so much, ma'am. To summarize what all you said, and you said some amazing things really, that the Generation Y or the post-millennia generation, जो we are experiencing, and that's right now in the school that's trying to learn, uska teaching learning process बहुत ज़्यादा change हो गया है. They are born with technology. They know it far, far, far better than all the teachers and the people who are teaching them. Turbulence in learning due to flood of education technology platforms and ideas and environments. एडटेक के अंदर इतना बड़ा फ्लो आ गया है कि बच्चे के लिए राइट एनवायरनमेंट चूज करना चैलेंज है, और अगर बच्चा यूज कर रहा है तो उसके लिए चैलेंज है क्या यूज करूं. बिकॉज वी आर एडटेक के अंदर सबसे बड़ी चीज ये है कि मोस्ट ऑफ द एजुकेशन टेक्नोलॉजी दैट वी आर यूजिंग वाज नॉट सपोज्ड टू एंड इज नॉट सपोज्ड टू सॉल्व एजुकेशन इश्यूज. इट इज बेसिकली देयर टू सॉल्व कम्युनिकेशन इश्यूज. एंड इसका बहुत आसान सा एग्जांपल है दैट द फर्स्ट थिंग दैट वी यूज्ड to complete the teaching learning process was a WhatsApp, which is not an education company, which was not supposed to be used for deciphering education. And secondly, attention span बच्चों का सच में बहुत कम हो गया है. Some days back we had a behavioral scientist on this very platform, Colonel Sudeep Mukherjee, who shared a very nice research and some data that has come out that a student who's looking at a screen like this and trying to learn from this has an attention span of only 8 seconds. On every 9th second, he has started daydreaming. So you need content which is super duper sticky. नहीं तो हर 8वें सेकंड पे वो आपको सुनना बंद कर चुका है. And what he is doing, you don't know. Because और एक बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज, किसी भी वर्चुअल क्लासरूम में बैक बेंचर्स नहीं होते, तो हमें पता ही नहीं है कौन पढ़ रहा है कौन नहीं पढ़ रहा है. तो टीचिंग लर्निंग प्रोसेस में टीचिंग तो हो रही है, लर्निंग की गारंटी अभी नहीं है. And we don't know what's happening on that end. But thank you so much, ma'am. And knowing the rationale behind everything, यही बच्चे हैं जो हर चीज में क्वेश्चन मार्क लगा देंगे और उसका आंसर आपको देना है. बट द प्रॉब्लम, और एक बहुत बेसिक पैराडॉक्स जो एजुकेशन में हमेशा है और हमेशा रहेगा, कि आप अपने से पिछली पीढ़ी से पढ़ते हैं और अपने से अगली को पढ़ाते हैं. सो टिपिकली 2 जनरेशंस का गैप आप उन तक पहुंचाते हैं. तो उसको पैच करना इज अ बिगर चैलेंज, बिकॉज द पेस ऑफ चेंज विद टेक्नोलॉजी कमिंग इन इज टू फास्ट. और उतना जल्दी हम सीख पाए, ये बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज है. Thank you so much, Suvir ma'am, for those amazing opinions. For that,
Daksh, sorry, 1 second. Nowadays it's a mode of connecting rather than teaching, I think so. Because connecting is the main word out over here that happens.
Absolutely. So, moving on to the next speaker, Mr. Karan Gangola, Principal, Imperium Public School, Nainital, Uttarakhand. Karan ji, over to you for the next 2 minutes. Please unmute your audio.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Good evening to everyone. Would just like to start by saying that I also come from a corporate environment. I've worked with Michael Page. So I worked there as an human resource consultant. So I know, what kind of skills people were looking at that point of time in a mid to senior level management sort of a thing. Now, if I talk about facts, it's a fact that it's been stated that 2/3 of the children joining school in the recent years will not be working in jobs which already exist at the moment. So that is something which is always going to change. The skill set, which we are talking about, hard skills, is always going to change. So I'm going to talk about, how we look at a corporate sector and how we need to teach our students from then on. Now we talk about critical thinking. With that, I would want to join a word which is called design mindset with critical thinking. Now, critical thinking in itself is talking about, breaking down a problem and then trying to solve it. Whereas design mindset goes one step ahead, and it doesn't only talk about breaking down a problem, it talks about a solution. And then also it talks about if you made an error, how do you make that error a more lucrative or, a more, something which would help you out in the future as well. So that is something which we need to look at. The second thing which I need to talk about is transdisciplinarity. Now, when I say transdisciplinarity, when I talk about someone with a T profile, when I say T profile, it means that you are deep in one section and in one discipline, you know everything. But above that, you need to have a more broader version. So if say there's a doctor, as people are talking about health sector, if there's a doctor who's into technology, he's talked about, the health environment, everything, but he opens up a business or a hospital, he needs to know what marketing is. He needs to know what other things are. So that is what we need to look at, a T profile, wherein you know about your subject and the other subjects as well, disciplines as well. So I'm sorry, I'm just going a little fast because there's obviously no time. New media literacy. People were talking about, everything, content development and everything. And, Facebook is something we tend to shy away from in schools. We tend to shy away from gaming. We tend to shy away from YouTube. We tend to shy away from these things and tell our students, these are bad things, don't use them. But it's a new ecosystem in itself. For my example, I will give you, I am also from a village. I moved back to my village. It's in Uttarakhand. It's very secluded. There are 450 students in my school at the moment. For this environment, I gave them I gave them an assignment that they had to create a video, wherein on this video, they had to go back and get as many likes as possible by marketing it on the social platform. And these are village students. I'm telling you about rural students, and they did really extraordinarily well. They were like 1,500 likes on one video in YouTube. And I might have, benefited from it because my school subscription went up by about 2,000 people. And then there is also novel and adaptive thinking and computational thinking, which is obviously a part of our curriculum at the moment. And we need to see how it comes in. And then we are talking about emotional intelligence, social intelligence, and also diversity, trying to get and understand other cultures. That is.
Thank you so much, Karanji. Time is over, but some amazing thoughts. And coming from an HR background, you added quite a lot of value to the kind of skills that we'll be looking at. 2/3 of the jobs won't exist, that's for sure, because the kind of jobs हम अभी जो कर रहे हैं वो redundant हैं, and redundancy technology take over कर लेती है. And that's where technology, plays a deadly role rather by finishing off what all is redundant. Design mindset with a mix of critical thinking. आप चीजों को question भी करें, but at the same time try to find solutions to it. And in silos, जब आप प्रॉब्लम को टुकड़ों में तोड़ चुके हैं तो हर टुकड़े का सॉल्यूशन साथ के साथ ढूंढते जाइए, so that you have a grand solution at the end of it. ट्रांसडिसिप्लिनैरिटी या मल्टीडिसिप्लिनैरिटी, जो कि अब हम इसको रियलाइज कर रहे हैं, जो कि काफी पहले कर लेना चाहिए था, कि आप सब्जेक्ट्स को पीरियड्स के हिसाब से डिवाइड कर देते हैं, लेकिन व्हेन यू गो इनटू लाइफ, दैट्स नॉट द वे. They have to finally come together, and then it becomes of some utility to any individual. T profile, a very important observation and an idea where you're deep in one skill and you know a lot about others that influence whatever you're doing. Shying away from gaming and social media. New media literacy, एक बहुत बड़ा challenge that has actually come up is when a student is looking at a screen like this, या हम as an individual, when we look at a screen like this, we are supposed to and we are programmed that हम जिसको देख रहे हैं, he is a celebrity. So आपका बच्चा हर टीचर को एक स्टार परफॉर्मर से कंपेयर कर रहा होता है कि हाँ ये कोई तो सेलिब्रिटी है जो कुछ बोल रहा है. एंड प्रॉब्लम है कि इस टीचर का टैलेंट और सेलिब्रिटी के टैलेंट में बहुत बड़ा फर्क है. And that's where the disconnect comes in, because he's not able to grasp what you say, and then he switches over to some other media while the call is going on. He might start YouTube or something else on that same system that he's sitting on. Social media marketing by video creation. this is something that has been extensively used by schools, क्योंकि बच्चों ने बहुत कंटेंट क्रिएट किया है इतने समय में, and which is phenomenal, और हर तरीके का किया है. One of the leading schools of Bombay, their principal admitted on this very platform कि जब उन्होंने virtual classes शुरू करी, after the first 7 days they had to stop it for a simple reason कि बच्चे digital pranks कर रहे थे जो teachers को handle करने ही नहीं आते थे, and they had to go through an orientation and then they resumed those classes back again. And yes, उसी स्कूल के बच्चों ने एक बहुत अमेजिंग काम किया कि they started making simulations, they started learning programming, और उन्होंने Python और इन लैंग्वेजेस को सीख के वो कंटेंट क्रिएट किया जिस कंटेंट को आप अभी किसी एक्स्ट्रा मार्क्स से, किसी फ्लिप लर्न से परचेज कर रहे होते हैं, उस स्कूल के बच्चों ने वो कंटेंट कोडिंग से क्रिएट किया. We'll be sharing their content with a lot of schools now. So people have done amazingly, and adaptive thinking. Thank you so much, Karan ji. Let's listen it from the next speaker for today. I might pronounce your name wrong. If I do, please apologies for that. Tendral MS Vice Principal, Fatima Matriculation High Secondary School, Madurai, Tamil Nadu. Over to you for the next 2 minutes. Please unmute your audio. A very warm welcome.
Yeah, good evening to everyone. I would like to thank you for giving this opportunity. And first of all, I would like to tell a thing. I don't know Hindi, so I couldn't understand few things from your and as I am taking care of primary section and I am dealing with primary section students, I would like to share few things for the future teachers. The first thing is interaction, because without interaction, nothing can't happen there. And though it is everything, it is nowadays we are doing everything in online, right? So though we have such classes, in that also we do have one way of communication that should be changed, and interaction should be there. And then only the students, they'll start loving the subject. And nowadays we could see a good transformation among the students also. In our school, the students, they love the self-learning, and they are ready to do whatever the things we are telling now. And the second thing, we have to give space to the students to think on their own. We have to give enough space to them, and we should be ready to accept the answers which they created from different aspects. And the third thing, the teacher should have developed and they should be very well versed and masters in both in their subject and the technology. And then only they can't no need to be dependent on others, and it will boost their confidence and do their best in their field, and that is very much needed for them in their career. And then the next point, we have to teach the students how to learn a thing in different ways, because one way of learning and one method of learning cannot help them in their life in any way, and they cannot lead their life in a meaningful way. So we have to teach them how to learn a thing in different ways, and we have to teach them how to apply those subjects. It may be either fraction or subject, grammar, pictures, videos, anything it may be. We have to teach them how to apply those concepts in their real life situation. Then only they can. There will be some result for learning. And then the last point, we have to teach along with their subject. We have to teach them the life skills, because the foundation. If the foundation is good, then they will no need to depend on others, and they don't need any support from.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So first of all, apologies that you could not get whatever was spoken in Hindi, but sorry, this is a multilingual platform, so we had to use both the languages. But amazing thoughts once again. Interaction more critical now. Teaching lecture mode won't work. Discussion mode in a class would work. Fear circuit won't work. Reward circuit, yeah, incentivization of students would work. Two-way communication should happen. Self-learning or self-designed learning is something which should be taught and must be taught in schools right now, because what Pradipta ji said in the beginning, that casual learning nahi ho rahi hai, and that can be compensated by self-designed learning or self-propelled learning, ya bachche ko active learner banana is what is important. Accepting the answers that the students create from their own atmospheres. Keep not going exactly by the book, but trying more and more new approaches to accepting what the student is trying to say. Master of your subject and technology at the same time. How to learn a concept from different ways. concept to the reality connect. कि आप अगर from learning to application, you should try to give them an exposure of that complete scenario. Thank you so much, ma'am. Let's now listen to the next speaker for today, Rudrendra Basak, Principal, APJ School, APJ Educational Society from Bharuch, Gujarat. Rudrendra ji, over to you for the next 2 minutes.
No. I'm from APJ School, Charkhi Dadri in Haryana. Okay. And thank you so much for having me here. It's an excellent opportunity provided by Blub Web Talks to participate in this discussion. So very interesting on the future skills. But when we talk about future skills, I think we need to talk about future of the skills, whatever are existing at the moment. So we have all discussed about 21st century skills that are existing so far: creativity, then critical thinking, collaboration, communications, and then technology. Most of us have spoken about technology, and then the life skills, that to be flexible, to be productive, take initiative, and be more sociable. So these skills are going to stay in the future also. But with the advent of coronavirus, we have seen many changes happening, and more people are getting used to use of technology, especially the education technology, not only teachers but students, and in fact even parents. So I think the most important skill in the future would not only be to learn how to use the technology, but would be how to use the technology, many technologies, and how to learn them as fast as possible. Because in these times only we have seen that we were in Zoom, and then somebody is asking us to go for the Google Meet, and then maybe Microsoft Teams and whatnot, and we are scrambling around to learn all the technologies all together. I think one of the important skills for the students would be to learn more technology, and that also within a very short period of time. And then one of the participants, I think Karanji, was speaking about the emotional quotients. IQ, which we used to look forward to, I think the HR industry would look forward to in the previous decades or so, where the candidates would be taken in for whatever the marks they have got, and that has become redundant now. People are looking more onto the emotional quotient factor, and then the social quotient factor, or sometimes people even talk about the spiritual quotient factor. But one of the very important quotient factor that is going to be seen in the next few decades or so is the adversity quotient factor, which is also known as the AQ. How to develop the resilience among the students to come back from the setbacks that they receive. We generally prepare the students for success, but when they face the failures, they are going haywire. Then the last skill which I would like to focus on today, because most of the skills have been spoken about, is the self-learning. More and more online platforms are going to be used. They are the automated platforms to be used. Even MIT is using that. So more and more people have to know how to learn by themselves rather than depending on somebody else. So I think that skill will be very much required. And if the government narrows down on the importance of the online skills or online certificates, even with the physical classroom scenario, I think it will become more and more important for the students to have this skill.
Thank you so much, sir. To summarize what you said, that rather than actually understanding on the skills for the future, it's also a part where we should understand what will be the future of the skills that currently exist. And wo skill ki shelf life kitni hogi. We need to understand that if you have a skill, if you have learned a skill, for how long will it stay relevant? And how do you build a mechanism where you are learning new skills in the least amount of time possible? Because that, since the shelf life is low, so you'll have to keep learning new ones. How to use technology and learning it at the same a very fast pace. Deciding between tech platforms and products. Again, judging technologies is also a talent and also a skill which has to be developed now, that what we want to use and what we don't want to use. Emotional quotient becoming super critical in employment as well, because when you are at home, when you are working from home, the kind of atmosphere that you're in at that point, fighting anxiety, fighting what your personal things, and managing your professional life is a big challenge, and we need people who are robust in that. Adversity quotient, your self-resilience banana, ki if you're doing something, that to stick to it. Self-learning and online certification. As of now, the first online certification course has been allowed by the government of India through IIT Madras. But we are hoping that the gamut will increase and more people will be allowed to do online degrees or online certifications. But let's see where the future lies for that. Let's now listen to the next speaker for today. Dr. Rocky Mathai Anthony, Principal, Prakriti National School, Bengaluru, Karnataka. Over to you, sir, for the next 2 minutes. Please unmute your audio.
Very good evening, Mr. Daksh. Currently, I'm the principal of AVS Global School, Chikmagalur. Thank you for giving an opportunity to be a part of this panel. And I would like to title it as a skill for future survival or a skill for future opportunities and challenges. Usually we say that the skills for 21st century challenges. So instead of, I would like to say it as for the opportunity. Once we get the opportunity, the further we face all the challenges. So the first of all, the basic skill, what we need to have from the beginning, that is embracing the challenges. Once we learn to embrace the challenges and to celebrate it, so eventually it will become more easier for the child. As you said that, definitely, what we face actually in the future, they won't face as a student. They'll face as an employee. They might face as an entrepreneur or some other way. So the basic skills which require for the survivalence, there we need to concentrate. Then the secondly, cognitive flexibility. It's very important wherever we are. Right now I'm a principal. So before I was a teacher, so what made me to be the principal? It's all that multitasker. We cannot stick to one particular way. We need to keep on learning. Whatever the challenges we get, whatever the opportunities we get it, okay. So we need to work on that. We need to welcome them very happily. So then the second thing is the emotional and social intelligence, very important. The technology might replace in any way, but to deal with the human beings, definitely how the world is growing, we are closer to the people. We are not away from the people. Every day we are getting closer to each other, different countries, different people. So the social intelligence is very important. So how we can deal with the, even Pradipat Hori, even he said that communication skills are very important where we need to concentrate. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So now we have 5 more minutes for the people who want to give some closing remarks. If you want to do that, you can do that, but try to limit it within 60 seconds. So I would request anybody who wants to, give the closing remarks, please open your audio and you can start for the next 60 minutes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Thank you, Daksh. So the tagline for skills for future is innovate or evaporate. The reason being, if you would like to innovate, otherwise you will be evaporated from the system. So we have to develop skills. That is very important for innovation only, and innovation is the key around. And number 2, happiness and well-being. This department is very important to be set up in almost all colleges, schools, and university. Number 3, Department of Social Impact Strategy. Students should learn apart from hard skills, soft skills. Social skills are very important. They should work 50 hours, 40 hours, 30 hours of social work should be made mandatory for the students. And number 4, disaster management and crisis management should be taught in almost all schools, so that students should be brave enough to they should be ready with all type of pandemic, because these things are all part and parcel of life. So thank you so much, Daksh, for providing this great opportunity for me. I just want to contribute with these lines. The success is always the key. Future for the skills is always the, but you have to make students future ready with the whatever skills they can achieve. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Innovate or evaporate, happiness and well-being, social impact strategy, 50 hours of social work made mandatory ताकि आप अपने atmosphere environment को ज़्यादा समझ सकें, and crisis management or disaster management because अब ऐसा लगने लगा है that crisis will become a normal day part of life and we should know how to handle it. So, Pradeep ji, over to you.
Yes, actually, you know what I would like to say is, of course, we are talking about skills that the students should upgrade themselves with and all. But the people, those who are guiding the students to upgrade their skills, are they equipped enough with the skills? That is something really, really important because the teachers, first of all, need to be completely upgraded with the different type of skills that are required and then take it forward to the next step. So I think so we need to be a tolerance to embrace the change and take it forward from there.
Thank you so much, sir. So, Karanji or Sebastian?
Yeah. Right. So when I look at a teacher, because building upon what Pradipta ji said, looking on at a teacher, I look at 6 things. I take a demo class or anything, they come in, I look at 6 things. First thing is the type of questions they are, that are being asked. That is why firstly, it has to be student centric. It doesn't have to be teacher centric now. Second thing is how engaged are the students? When they look at the teacher, are they engaged? What are they studying? How well the things being taught in class are being related to the practical environment and say the outside world. That is the third point. The fourth is how is the teacher presenting uncertainties? Now she has to present those situations where there are uncertainties. The student goes there and a real life situation in class related to what they are teaching. So after that, how many why questions are being asked, followed by how many how questions. Now, why is important? You need to understand the student knows things, but how does he know those? That is also very important. And then we come to how much is the teacher able to integrate higher order questions. Now, when I say higher order questions, these are not only, related to education or, technical, these are also emotional quotient questions, which are, so if I talk about say a climate change, the question can be, what is climate change? That is not going to help us. The student knows it, rata hua hai, that is rote learning. Then it comes to, the second question can be, tell me 3 ways which climate change can be brought about, right? And then the third question, which could actually be a higher order question, can be, what do you think in the current scenario, climate change is going to do in your environment and how does it affect you? Then after that, from why questions, they move on to how questions, wherein they ask, how do you know all this? How do you think you can change this? And how is your perspective different from the person sitting next to you? So I think that is where we need to look at critical and then, other things, design thinking as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Karanji. So type of questions, student-centric approach, it has to be engaging, the practicality aspect of it, teacher presenting uncertainties from why to how questions, and more importantly, the higher order questions कि हम उस पे कितना जल्दी पहुंच जाते हैं, because that's something that takes a lot of time. I think Sibansi wants to give some thoughts, so over to you, Sibansi.
Thanks. Yeah, just I think a good summary in terms of everything we put together and taking cue from uncertainties being the very topic of discussion. And we are talking about the future. I think it's very important for schools to remember that as you're walking ahead with time, you'll imbibe practices that are in your favor going forward. And also for a parents, you look at all of these. I've been listening to the initiatives that you've been talking about throughout the hour and how you bring about new things to encourage your children to kind of really grow. And while you're doing that, maybe it's also essential for you to remember that the parents who are really spending their children with all of this time that they're engaging and they're leaving the responsibility for you would always help in terms of adding that peace of mind to them, knowing that, while we're taking care of your children and letting them grow emotionally, intellectually, physically, we're also making sure they're protected and they're secure. So, keeping in times, in trends that we're going, this is definitely something that I think schools and institutions should really take into practice and keep in line with future offerings. I think that's pretty much how I can sum up.
Thank you so much, Sibansi, because the care factor will go up and it will go far, far up. Because अब जब बच्चा आपके पास वापस आएगा, we won't have the same school there. The way we understand it, the definition of a school, the definition of a school's working model or a financial model, the way we know it has already been obliterated. We need a new definition now. Because with teachers wearing masks, their expressions and gestures not working, their discipline not working, and with just 30% students in a class, how would a school work? And to give you an idea, one of the principals from Odisha shared a very nice thought on this very platform. that a school is a place where the society comes together. It finds its definition. You teach kids that how a society actually gets composed. And right now, you're supposed to teach a paradox, social distancing. So how will you do that? When you actually keep them physically apart and want them to get mentally together, it's a big challenge in itself. Before this talk comes to an end, I would just like to share some food for thought. This happens very less in our complete history of mankind, that we as a society, as a community, as a group of people are ready to listen and are ready to experiment. And this only happens when we face an existential crisis. So if you ever wanted to experiment something in education, if you ever wanted to do something in education, this is the perfect time, because people will listen to you. They'll experiment. They'll try to understand your part of the story. So try doing that. Build the habit of writing an observation paper every single evening. Write only 200 words. Doesn't make a difference, but write. Because what content you create out of these papers would become the basis for innovation for the coming generations. And शायद आपसे एक बहुत आसान सवाल आपकी future generations पूछेंगी कि जब आपको कुछ नहीं करना था तब आप क्या कर रहे थे? Because this is very, very critical, because ये knowledge वापस बनाने को नहीं मिलेगी. And we hope कभी मिले भी ना. So that's what we hope. And before we end this, a final small little story for all of you, so that there's some inspiration that you carry from this very platform. There's a homeschool girl who's self-taught, who has been inventive herself throughout her life, lives in Melbourne, Australia. She started her career of professional painting when she was 9 years old, staged her first solo painting exhibit at the age of 2, had a show in one of the most reputed museums of Europe and one in Russia, the Royal Academy of Fine Arts in Russia, at the age of 7, and which was a completely sold out show. Right now earns in millions. And these are the kind of kids that we try to find and try to showcase in front of other kids. And that girl is just 13 years old, and her name is Elita Andre, and that's the cover page of Blub World this month. So keep finding stories, keep talking about stories, because now you cannot teach. The only way to decipher education in the coming times is to inspire. I hope you enjoyed the last 60 minutes with Blub World. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Thank you so much for being a part of the Blub World Web Talk 79th episode. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, and if you attend the future sessions, open your audio, say a big yes, and thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
It was
you.
a
Really
great learning
nice.
experience. Thank you so much.
Thank you, people. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you everyone for your thoughts. It was a great learning experience. I, being new to this education, sector, and this was a really great experience for me. Thank you so much.
I just wanted to chip in with one of the interesting websites that I have found out. That is futureskills.pearson.com. If you get an opportunity, you must visit that website. It will tell you the scope of the future skills. In 2030 or so, they will ask for some basic information, and then there you go. So please do check, and then let's keep in touch. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
I hope you
Thank you
enjoyed.
so much.
Thank you, everyone. It has been a lovely learning experience, and sharing, listening to everyone, all the great people here with a lot of knowledge. I guess it has left each one of us more enriched and more connected, today, rather than, of course, the whole web world is full of all these portals where people are, interacting. But how much meaningful interaction actually takes place, and it inspires you and takes you on a totally different level. I guess that is what is more important, and that is what I feel has happened here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.